Landlords, don't make this mistake in your lease negotiations before renting out a property to a potential tenant. Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord Warrior on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe to our videos. Now, I run across cases where landlords might be in an eager hurry to rent out their property, and in that hurry, they don't formally complete a few things that will protect themselves in the future. In this case, I had a landlord give tenant keys before the actual lease agreement was negotiated and finalized. And the story was the tenant gave this landlord a story about how they needed to move into a place ASAP. The parties were negotiating the lease agreement, trying to hammer out the terms, and lo and behold, landlord gives the keys to the tenant, and then as you expect, there was a dispute about how much rent is due and what the actual rent of the property is, and ended up in court over non-payment of rent. Landlords, I just caution you. I get that, sometimes times are tough. You want to try to be a very nice person and, help someone out, but you got to be able to help someone out while not harming you, basically. And one of the key things about having a written agreement is having, all the terms outlined so both parties understand what they're obligated to do. And in this case, it ended up biting the landlord back in the butt. Basically, the tenant is disputing how much the rent is because guess what? They don't have a written rental agreement that specifies what the rent is. And in this case, I get the file and the landlord's coming to me after weeks of, what's happened. Okay. I'm coming into it, late to the party and trying to untangle the mess. And then you have to incur legal expenses. You have to incur arguments from the tenant, that the rent is X and, the landlord thinks it's Y, basically. And this all could have been prevented if there was a solid rental agreement in place. And not only that, a deposit that reflects the rent that's in place, and also to paying first month's rent. That would have solved this problem. But this, landlord, was trying to be nice, and it kind of ended up, biting them back in the butt. So just a warning, okay? You have comments, questions, put them down below. If you're in the Northern California area and you're having a tenant that is not paying rent or having other problem, feel free to reach out. We might be able to help out. Until next time, folks, we'll talk to you then. Thanks.